Ruxin Sports, here we are. We are back. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. Let's not spend too much time because we've got a lot to talk about this week. We're going on to Ruxin 34's picks. Let's look at week 11. How did we do? Of course, we hit Thursday, which honestly was a miracle thanks to Justin Fields fumbling randomly with like 3 minutes left. So then they got a free field goal. They were only up by 10. So I'm like, man, of course they're going to cover with a 10-point loss. And then he just randomly fumbles. They get a field goal. So thank you, Justin Fields. Thursday hot streak continues. We've gotten like 5 or 6 in a row on Thursday. I don't know what's going on. Then international games. I'm killing those too. Dolphins, also a miracle. How did they win this? They had 4th and goal like 5 times. I mean, or 1st and goal, and they couldn't get it on 4th and goal. It was crazy. They could not score, and then somehow Washington was bad enough to let them win in overtime and cover the 2.5. So I'm not going to complain. We got 2 in a row. Then we have, wow, shocker, the Falcons. We missed the Falcons pick. Wow, I can't believe that. I totally thought that I was going to get the Falcons right every single. No, I'm never going to get the Falcons right. Hey, at least they used Bijan this week. It scored 2 touchdowns. I can't complain there when it comes to fantasy, but they're up 24-19. They let Bryce Young drive all the way down the field. The dude had 450 yards. I have him in Dynasty, so I was like, okay, I didn't start him because he's never good. But I was like, okay, there's at least signs of life, except it's Atlanta, so they're just terrible, and they always find a way to lose. I don't know why in the world. I thought Atlanta at home, they're better at home. Carolina's worse on the road. Just felt like they would probably handle it, which 24-19, they had it handled. No, they didn't. Okay, enough of that. Okay, here's another stupid one. The Titans. The Titans actually covered. I mean, Cam Ward actually had an awesome drive at the end to tie the game up. And I was like, you know what? They're not going to cover anyway, so I'm excited about this. I'm kind of worried they're going to win the game. Because then we're going to have more wins and then we're not going to get as good of a draft pick and their season's over. So I just kind of want to see Cam Ward do stuff like that, like big drives at the end and we still lose. Like it's not his fault necessarily. I mean, it kind of was because they had 6 points before that, but he has, little flashes of brilliance, but we still lose because we want to have some nice picks or to trade. Some people need a quarterback. We have the first pick. We'll trade you. Just give us your first round pick and your first round next year. Maybe a second, throw that in. I don't know. That's what we could do. We could get you in the next future, whatever. You could get Arch Manning, not Arch Manning, but some other actual good quarterback. Then we can, rack up on some actual players because that's what we need. Vikings, Bears. Man, I got to stop picking terrible players, but I just don't believe in the Bears, but man, is JJ McCarthy bad. I knew he was not good, but I didn't know he was this bad. Like, I didn't quite realize just how bad he was, and they still had a chance to win the game. I thought they were going to win 17-16. And I'm like, yep, that's the Bears for you. That's the Bears for you. They're going to, and then of course, they come back and win. Somehow they beat all these bad teams just barely. They let them take the lead with a minute left, and they still hold on. So congratulations, Bears. If you're a Bears fan, I guess congrats, but I don't think your team's very good. Giants and Packers. This looked like the Giants were going to win straight up for a long time. And then, of course, the Packers squeak out another ugly win. And luckily, it was 7.5. That 7.5 hook did scare me because it's like, are the Packers really going to win by 8 points? I mean, they won by 7, but winning by 8's a whole different ballgame because if you're tied, you'd have to score a touchdown and go for 2, and they were tied or behind most of this game. And it ended up working out. It was kind of close. I mean, I thought for a second like Jameis was going to throw a pick 6 at the end or throw a pick and they kick a field goal and cover, but the Giants looked pretty good most of the game. You never know with Jameis. So they did cover by 0.5 point. Yeah, speaking of incorrect picks, which we weren't talking about, but now we are. The Chargers looked absolutely awful. Another team I absolutely hate picking, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm glad I didn't lose on them last week. I'm still okay. I mean, they looked impressive this week, which, next week they'll look completely terrible. They'll look impressive for a quarter and then look completely awful like the worst team in the NFL. They looked pretty good this week. The Chargers looked atrocious. 6 points. This one was one of the dumbest losses of the week. I can't believe the Bucs lost this game. Not that they lost. I can't believe they didn't cover. They were up or covering the entire game. And then all of a sudden at the end, they give up like 2 straight touchdowns to lose. They were up by like 24-19, I think, maybe something like that. That was the Falcons score, but maybe it was that as well. Then maybe it was 26-24, 26-21, 32-31. Like they're up the entire game. And then I've got a gripe about this. Why did they kneel with 38 seconds left? I haven't seen this happen in the NFL all season. Not in the age of betting. You just never see it. You never see teams give up that early. Like it was 44-32. The Bucs get the ball. I know they don't have timeouts. I know it's unlikely. You're probably not going to win. But what's their coach's name again? I can't remember his name because he just looks like a doofus over there. He's got his big old jacket on. He's like, oh. How are you giving up with 38 seconds left in the NFL? I know you're 6-3, about to be 6-4. You can't afford to lose in the NFL. You have to give yourself a chance. You have to at least try to drive for that first score and then kick the onside kick. Try to score in 30 seconds, kick the onside kick, then throw a Hail Mary. Like, you got to give yourself a chance. How are you kneeling? Baker, they showed a shot of Baker and he's just like, what? What are we doing? Why'd they give up? How do you give up? I know you're in the NFC South and you're probably going to win the division because the Carolina Panthers suck and the Falcons are absolutely an abomination. And the Saints, I mean, don't even get me started with the Saints, but come on. Seriously? You're going to kneel with 38 seconds left? And of course, I was mad because, I mean, one touchdown's a backdoor cover. You know, they're down by 12. They score a touchdown. They lose by 5. They cover. That is why I picked Tampa. I'm like, look, they could be in the game. They could win the game. And they definitely have backdoor potential. Well, apparently not with this coach. He's like, you know what? Let's just go to the next game. Let's just lose. I mean, yeah, sure. What are the chances to come back? 1%? You got to give yourself a 1% chance. Like, I know maybe he has I think he might have had a little bit of PTSD from when Godwin got hurt in a game where they were probably going to lose last year. But this is the NFL. You got to try to win. So that was frustrating. That was super frustrating. Okay. This one was never in question. The Bengals, wow. But Joe Flacco is back to Joe Flacco. I think I said this before, preview for last week. How long until Joe Flacco stops becoming like a stud and turns back into Joe Flacco? He turned back into Joe Flacco. He threw a bunch of bad picks. They could not score the ball. Jamar Chase is spitting on players, so now he's suspended. Thank you to everyone who has him in fantasy. Come on, Jamar Chase. I know your team sucks. You got to play for us fantasy players, man. We need you out there. I know you didn't have a good game, but that's because Joe Flacco stinks. But you'll be back. Just don't spit on anybody. I bet he said something disrespectful. I'm sure he did, bro. But don't spit on him. Just disrespect him on social media or something. So this was an easy win, though. Steelers looked fine. Aaron Rodgers is hurt now, so I've been waiting for this to happen. This is not good if you have Steelers to win the division because the Ravens are definitely gaining. This was frustrating, man. This was another frustrating. So this was super frustrating. This one was even more frustrating. The Rams picked off Sam Darnold 4 times. They didn't try to score the entire game. The Rams got 21 points and they decided, yeah, I think that's good enough. We're not going to try to score the rest of the game. How about we just go 3 and out 75 times in a row and just punt it back to Sam Darnold? Yeah, we'll pick him off 900 times. Yeah. No, you won't. He had 4 interceptions and they should have won this game because the Rams weren't even trying to score. They're like, yeah, whatever. We'll just punt it. Yeah, we got Puka Nacua. We got Kyron Williams. We got Matt Stafford. Whatever. Let's just punt it back. They're not going to beat us. I mean, they were right. They did not beat them. They were lucky, though. The Seahawks had the ball at the end with a field goal. They made the field goal. They called timeout. They missed the field goal. They were that close to losing. That close. Sean McVay, there's been some weird Sean McVay moments this year. There was the 4th and 1. I remember who they were playing where they just ran it straight up the middle and got stuffed and lost. This game was super weird. Zero aggression on the offensive play calling. They got 1 first down in the last 15 drives. It felt like they were not trying to score. I mean, I know the guy's struggling. You're picking him off left and right. He looked awful. He looked like he was going to just quit. And he still almost came back and beat you because you just kept giving him the ball back. And guess what? They didn't cover because of that. So very frustrating. Very frustrating. This should have been, with that many turnovers from Seattle, this should have been at least 35-19. They gave them the ball so many times and the Rams were like, yeah, whatever. Let's just hope that we win with 21 points. This should be good enough. Very frustrating. Okay. This wasn't frustrating at all. San Francisco had this thing locked and loaded the entire time. It was done. Brissett, honestly, was 47 completions, the NFL record. I started him in a couple fantasy leagues. I have him in Dynasty because my quarterbacks are such crap right now. I have Penix, he's hurt. I have CJ Stroud, who got his head dribbled off the ground. Somehow that was totally okay for that guy to do that. Still don't understand that. Bryce Young, so up and down. He had an amazing game, but I didn't know to start him. So Brissett's been pretty good. I mean, throwing completions, but man, wow, that was a beatdown. San Francisco dominated, but they were just, backdoor. I love those little backdoor touchdowns. They probably had 30 completions when they were losing. That was great. Okay, then Baltimore, Cleveland. I picked Baltimore, and Baltimore looked absolutely terrible this entire game. Shador tried to give us a chance. Shador came in, looked absolutely terrible. They were up when he came in. They end up losing by 7. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't even win by, it actually cover because, wow, he looked terrible. Speaking of Lamar, also looked awful. He looked bad too, but I don't think I've ever seen a tight end run for 50 yards either for that game-winning touchdown, which, it was like there's a lot of time left, but they end up winning the winning touchdown. That was weird. It was like a handoff, and he ran it for it was crazy. But man, it's gonna be hard to pick the Browns with Shador starting, and they play the Vegas this week. It's two awful teams. This one I was genuinely shocked by. I can't believe the Chiefs lost to the Broncos. I know it was at the Broncos. The Broncos are a good team, but the Chiefs score that touchdown, miss that extra point. And every time you miss an extra point on a go-ahead touchdown, it's just like, uh-oh, what's about to happen now? Like, oh, now they're not up 2016, so a field goal can tie it. Oh, and now a touchdown means they can't tie it with a field goal. Like, if the other team scores a touchdown, now we got to get a touchdown. All of a sudden, the scenarios are just like, uh-oh, this is not good. Like, this is all bad. Like, it gives so much momentum to the other team, it feels like. Even though they gave up 6 points, the 1 point seems to make such a massive difference. And then they end up even losing the game after that. 5-5 Chiefs. I mean, they've lost the division at this point. They are 3.5 games behind now. How are you going to win the division like that? They do play them one more time, but that's 2.5 games. I mean, Broncos aren't going to lose that many games the rest of the way. The Chiefs are done. Pretty crazy. Then we have the Eagles beating the Lions. This was a disgusting game to watch. There was just a lot of bad quarterbacking this week. We had Lamar look terrible. Shador was absolutely terrible. J.J. McCarthy was pathetic. Jared Goff was absolutely awful. Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions. Like, there was some really bad quarterbacks. Or maybe the defense was great this week. Maybe a mixture of both. Wow, this was ugly. And really, this should have been 16-6, but all of a sudden they decided they were going to tush push on their side of the field with like 3 minutes left, and Jared Goff had 6 total points. He was throwing picks, and he had 2 completions in his last 18 passes or whatever. Why are you giving them the ball in field goal range where all he has to do is just not throw an interception? They get 3 points. They're down by a touchdown. I don't get it. I mean, I know the tush push is unstoppable mostly, but just punt the ball. He literally could not complete a pass. And if you turn it over right there and he goes 3 incompletions in a row, which is very likely, they still get a field goal. If you punt it and he gets 3 incompletions in a row, you win the game. I mean, they go for it on 4th down, you stop them again. It didn't matter because they were that bad. Detroit looked horrible. The Eagles did their classic 16 points scored. 1.5. I mean, it was enough. That's just the Eagles game. That's why I picked them. Disgusting game. It's going to look awful, and they're going to win. They're going to cover half the time. Then we have the Cowboys and the Raiders, because I had a pretty rough Sunday. As always, you can tell. I win the first 2 games, and then it's awful at 12. And even my afternoon was bad, but then we had a nice run here at the end to win the last 2 to kind of salvage it. Dallas dominated the Raiders. The Raiders looked, wow. And I got another gripe. There was a lot of complaints for me this week. If you are going to bench your top 2 receivers for the first drive, you should have to reveal that. This is the age of betting, the age of picks, all that different stuff. You shouldn't be able to just bench your players and nobody knows until the game starts, okay? You can't have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on the bench and be like, everyone's finding out as soon as the game's happening, like, where are CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens? Why aren't they in there? Oh, they just decided to bench them for disciplinary reasons. Don't worry. We're disciplining everyone who betted on them or picked them or whatever. Yeah, we're disciplining all you guys as well, which honestly, we probably deserve it, but that shouldn't be allowed. This shouldn't be allowed. But honestly, it seemed to motivate them, and they both had really good games. So maybe not. Maybe it didn't matter. I picked 56 points. Not bad. I was 49, so it was a touchdown off. So yeah, that was an easy pick. I ended up going 7-8 this week, which isn't awesome. Let's see if we can beat that this week. We'll review all of you guys' picks on the groups. Make sure you join the Ruxin Sports group. It's linked in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay. Bills at Texans. I don't like what I'm seeing from Davis Mills. They have won 2 in a row, but they just barely beat us, the Titans. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Bills defense either. They're giving up so many points, but Josh Allen's looked really good. The problem is I could definitely see another game. I was worried that it was going to happen against Tampa, where Josh Allen just stinks. Like 2 weeks ago where they could not score a point, and then this defense is pretty awesome. They hold it to a low score, but I'm going to go the Bills here just because I don't like Davis Mills. He's playing against the Bills defense, which is bad, but I just do not like Davis Mills. He's a fine quarterback, but he's definitely not great. He scored 16 against Tennessee. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Steelers at the Bears. I think Rodgers is out. This is probably going to be Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph was the Titans quarterback for like half the season last year because we had Will Levis, who was hurt a lot. and he's not good. He's absolutely not good. I do not like the Bears at all. This is at home. The Bears always win by 2. They win by 2 every game. They're down at the end. They have to kick a field goal to take the lead. They always win by 2. 3.5. The hook scares me so much. The Steelers kind of need to win this game. The Ravens are on their heels. The defense is a little iffy. It was fine this week against the Bengals. It was pretty good. The Bears defense is pretty good, but it was against McCarthy. Does it mean much? I can't pick Mason Rudolph. I hate picking the Bears, but I cannot pick Mason Rudolph. They're going to win by 2 or 3. Mark my words, the Bears will be taking the lead on a field goal with just a few seconds left. That's what's going to happen. Patriots at Bengals, and the Bengals are back to their massive underdog status because they've been completely terrible. The Patriots, at this point, they're rolling. They've looked really good. You can't run on them. But the Bengals, they don't really run that much anyway. Chase Brown's been kind of bad. The last couple weeks, he's looked a little better, but he's more of like a third down receiving back. I mean, he plays the whole game, but he's better just run out, catch a short pass, and run. The Patriots are on an absolute roll. I'm waiting for the letdown game. The thing is, Vrabel is so good about not having those letdown games where you're just completely terrible one game. He's kept them in line. He's kept them playing hard. They even looked good against the Jets of all teams. That's the team you let down against. But no, they didn't. They've looked really good. So I guess they're not going to have a letdown game. Against the Bengals, at the Bengals, 8.5. Is Joe Flacco going to show up? Chase is suspended. I just can't do it. Big spread. I don't like it. Giants at the Lions. 10.5. Are the Giants going to get blown out? I mean, they've been competitive recently. Is it going to be Jameis again? Because if it is, it's hard to pick him because he could throw like an interception. All of a sudden, the Lions are scoring a touchdown. They're running all over them. I don't like the Lions for 10.5 after what I saw, but it's probably, they're probably going to revert back and be really good this week because they're playing the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants. I really hope Dart's back. If Dart's back, I really like the Giants at plus 10.5. I think that they could score enough points so that they're not going to lose by 10.5, but you never know with Detroit. They might just reel off 50 points or something like that. Vikings at Packers. I don't know if I can pick McCarthy again. I hate the Packers. They've been really ugly, but I can't pick McCarthy on the road. He looks terrible. Terrible. I'm not touching his game if it's under a touchdown, especially on the road. No way. I'm done with that. Seattle at the Titans. This is an easy Seattle. They just lost this game. Darnold looked terrible. I don't think he's going to, have PTSD and just turn back into a pumpkin again, but I think he's going to be a lot better here. I think he's going to, have a little bit of a bounce back game. He's going to throw for like 4 touchdowns, be up 28-0 like they were the 2 weeks before this past week. And the Titans are terrible. I know Cam Ward had a nice little flash there, but the Seahawks defense is one of the best in the NFL. Sure, we're at home, best defense in the NFL, and they have an awesome offense. I think this is probably going to end up being something like 31-13 or something like that. That's my prediction. I think Seattle wins big. Colts at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored again, and they can't win a game. They have to win this game. They have to win this game. You can't go 5-6. You can't go 5-6. You got to beat the Colts. The Colts, the Jags are kind of on their heels. Houston's won a couple in a row, 3 in a row, actually, maybe. They don't have to win it, but they kind of want to win it. 3.5 to the Colts is kind of disrespectful. I could see the Chiefs winning, but the Chiefs just aren't scoring points. The Colts defense isn't really awesome, but yeah, I'm not believing in the Chiefs this year. I believed in them all the way up until this week. I thought for sure they win this game, and now I'm not sure. Let's go Colts. Jets at Ravens, 13.5. Justin Fields is so bad. The Ravens have not been good, though. The Ravens have not been good. Am I really going to pick them to win by 14 points? If they're ever going to win by 14, it's going to be against the Jets. The Jets did keep it within 14 against the Patriots this week. That was at home, right? Wasn't that at home? No, that was on the road. All right. I'll take the Jets. I'll take the Jets then. If they just cover, they would have covered 13.5 against the Patriots. I think the Patriots are a lot better than the Ravens. Lamar doesn't look too good. Derrick Henry doesn't look as good as before. He looks a little old. He's still good, but he's not as good as he once was. So at home, 12 o'clock. You know what? Justin Fields, let's see what you got, man. Scored me a few touchdowns. Browns at Raiders. This is so hard. The Raiders are favored by 3.5. That Browns defense is awesome, but they're on the road. They're much better defensively at home. And Shadur on the road, his first start. I mean, he can't be worse than he was this week. 4 for 16 and a terrible interception. I just can't do it. I hate the Raiders. They're terrible. I can see what's his name, whatever their linebacker, their line dude, whatever his name is, the white dude with does he have like red hair? Whatever that guy's name is, that's really good on the Raiders. He's probably going to wreak havoc in this game. He's going to go crazy against Shadur. He's going to pick him off. He's going to sack him, probably force a fumble. It's going to be bad. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's really good. What is it? It's right there. That's in my tongue. Can't remember. Okay. Jaguars at Cardinals. Why are the Jags underdogs? Just can't trust this freaking team. You can't trust the Jags. They're so much better than the Cardinals. The Cardinals are getting points, only 2.5 at home. They should be, I mean, they're way better than 4 points better than the Cardinals, right? The 1.5 home field advantage plus the 2. They're way better than 4 points. They just beat the Chargers by 30. If you do not win this game by 3, I'm going to be so mad. It's Brissett. I mean, he's fine. It's Brissett. You got to beat him. Okay. I'm going to be so mad at the Jags when they don't cover that. Eagles at Cowboys. Why is it only 3.5? Why is this only 3.5? The Cowboys are awful. I mean, the defense looked better this week. It was against Geno. Are we worried the Eagles can't score, but they're playing the Cowboys defense? The Cowboys defense. The Eagles defense is awesome. It just held the Lions to 9. It was really 6. They gave them a free field goal at the end. If the Eagles don't cover this, something weird's going on. That's all I got to say. I mean, the Cowboys stink. Their offense is okay. The defense is bad. I mean, that should be easy. Falcons at the Saints. Oh my gosh. The Falcons are getting 2.5. That's how bad the Falcons are. They're not even favored against the Saints. I know Shuck looked better. They do have Kirk Cousins starting, so there is that. He's bad now. This is a dumpster fire game right here. They've Bijan Robinson. How can you not cover this? Oh, I'm going to get burned by the Falcons again. I mean, the Saints, honestly, like Shuck, you looked fine. If you don't just feed Bijan, you should, I mean, I know Drake London, I think, is out too, but feed Bijan. You should win this game against the Saints, okay? I'm honestly thinking about picking this. Bijan, you know what? Burn me, Falcons. Tyler Shuck at home. This Falcons team stinks. I'm not picking Kirk Cousins. I'm not doing it. Buccaneers are getting 6.5 at the Rams. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Rams were really good before this. I was not impressed this week. I know they had a great defense. Just such lackadaisical coaching where they were like, yeah, let's just hope we win. Let's just hope we cover. I don't know. I mean, they don't care about covering. I know. NFL, they don't care about covering. They just want to win. But I don't know. It worried me. You know what else worried me? Tampa. These are the two teams I'm mad at. They just gave up. Buccaneers. Bucky Irving, please come back. Please. Finally. We've been waiting for weeks and weeks, but please come back. I think the Rams are much better than the Bucs. But the Bucs should score some points, right? They should score some points and keep it within a touchdown. They're going to lose by 12 again, probably. They gave up 44 to the Rams. I don't know. Or to the Bills. That worries me a little bit. This could be ugly, but I'm worried about the Rams take their foot off the gas and not trying to win at the end. Panthers at 49ers on the road. Ooh, Panthers are going to be able to score against this 49ers defense. I mean, they're another team that's kind of like, yeah, let's just win by 3, whatever. Like, they kind of gave up a bunch of stuff at the end. They ended up winning. They still won by 19. They kind of dominated. They were up by so much. McCaffrey looks so good this year. This is a tough one because I don't trust the Panthers at all, especially on the road. And then San Francisco's look good sometimes, not so good other times. Bryce Young, I think, is playing. He had a pretty awesome week. Monday night, Panthers. Keep it close, baby. You can do this. Who they playing it? They gave up 20. They gave up 3 rushing touchdowns to the Falcons. That was pretty rough. I could see that happening with McCaffrey. This is probably going to be high scoring. 35-28. That's 63 points. Let's do that. High scoring affair right there. That's what I'm predicting. Okay. Check out the group. Let's see how you guys did. Where is it? Show the group. Okay. How are you guys doing? This past week, 100 points. I'm down here with 70. I didn't look too good. Drew knows. He knew this time he had 100 points. He knew everything. Rothgar was the sole 90-point scorer. There's a bunch of 80s, bunch of 70s, bunch of 60s. Who did the worst? Belton, Megatron, 40 points. Rough week. Atlanta fan, 50 points. Atlanta fan getting waxed again. Atlanta fan. We're going to bounce back just like your Atlanta Falcons. Well, actually, I'm not picking your Falcons this week, so hopefully they don't bounce back till next week. But yeah, there it is, guys. There it is. Join the group. Click that link down below. That is this week. If you want to see any more content on Ruxin Sports, let me know. There's a lot of things I would like to rant about. As you guys have been able to tell in this episode, I had a lot of rants. A very frustrating week for a lot of reasons. But that's all we're going to talk about today. I will see you guys in the next week and maybe some other videos coming soon. So, there is a lot of, the holidays and stuff. So we'll see how many videos I get out. But I'll do my best. We're going to have this one next week. See you guys later. Peace.